Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
Hey, what's going on guys, aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2017 career mode, episode number 111 today for the Hungarian Grand Prix in Season 6. We come to this one with the tyre upgrade we purchased last episode at the end of the British Grand Prix. If you did miss that, be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. Really awesome episode for us, and for the championship, it means quite a bit. But we opened up this tyre upgrade then for this one, the Hungarian Grand Prix. Obviously, tyre wear, a bit of a contentious issue here at Hungary, so hopefully that will help out somewhat, but it's a minor upgrade though, so we'll have to see. But the next upgrade available will be a major one. And now we're kind of coming to a crossroad in terms of our upgrades, in terms of we've got a lot of majors left over, and those all are going to take 4 weeks. And also now you can see we're getting to the stage where now the parts we're using in practice are quite worn, in terms of I'm using column 1. Obviously the strategy you do is try and put all old parts in for practice and just use the newer ones for qualifying and the race. And so we're over halfway now. So technically we divide up the season, 20 races, 5 races for each column. We've got 4 columns as default. We should be comfortably we're in the green to be on the 3rd column right now. We're still on the 2nd one actually, apart from the internal combustion engine, which I think we need to move on into the 3rd one, because I think the 1st column is about 72% worn. That's the engine I used last race, and then the 2nd column is about 52, 55-ish, I want to say. So we're going to move into the 3rd one for the internal combustion engine. But every other component, MGU-K, MGU-H, the control electronics, the turbocharger, we're still on the 2nd column of components there, and we'll be comfortably still using those for this race, because we're only around you're looking at 27%, so about 35% in terms of how much wear there is on that. So yeah, looking really good. Obviously I kind of complained about Mercedes doing so many reliability upgrades at the beginning of this season. Over the 5 seasons they've been an AI team, they did so many reliability upgrades, but it does mean it's an easier job for us in terms of managing that. And so we get a brand new rival for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We beat Kimi Raikkonen, and so now for the first time in a while we get Sebastian Vettel as a rival. I think the last time I had him as a rival was back in Season 2, I want to say. So yeah, it's been a while since we've actually had him as an on-track rival in-game. Obviously the championship rivalry, as a kind of saying, is with Daniel Ricciardo, really. Obviously from last episode, we're only 1 point ahead in the championship now. I say only, we only just got into 1st place, so I shouldn't be disheartened by that. That's actually awesome that for the first time now we're leading the championship. But we come across the line then in our Q2 lap. We already did Q1, skirted over that. Obviously that's not an issue. Q2 was not an issue as well. P4 looking very, very good there with Hamilton P5, so it looks to be that's where the car is in terms of the pace there, around P4, P5. So we move on into Q3 then quite swiftly, and a bit of an odd one there. I just showed you the timer. It was 3 minutes gone, 3:40 left, sorry I should say, 7 minutes gone basically, and no one had set a time yet. Me and the AI all went out for just 1 lap, so everyone's basically doing a 1-shot quali in Q3, which is a little bit odd. So it was a good opening to the lap, although the last 2 corners you're about to see weren't amazing. They're actually pretty tragic, actually, if I should be completely honest. You can see they're touching the grass, going wide, scrubbing off speed, then go opposite lock, and then on the exit going wide, open DRS, but across the line we've lost about a good half second, if not more there, and we come home in P10, which is really upsetting, really frustrating. Hamilton P3 there. It's a 1-2 again for Red Bull, although Verstappen now is the one on pole position, but P10 not good enough, way off the pace, and we should have had that. We should have had at least, the 2nd row of the grid with Hamilton, and it could have even been the front row, maybe even, I want to say, pole if it was, if it was a tidy enough lap, because Sector 1 was really good purple for me in Sector 1, pretty neat and tidy in Sector 2, just unfortunate I kind of bottled it in the last sector there, so that's unfortunate, but you have those days. And so from P10 we're just going to do the best job we can. We've come back from further at Hungary, remember, back in Season 1, all the way back in Season 1. Cast your minds back to August in the Toro Rosso. We came back from last and made a huge great getaway in lap 1, so it's certainly possible, but just makes our task a little bit harder. And also it's going to be a bit harder now with the tyre wear, in terms of maybe if we'd not got the track position, that's going to make things harder in terms of how we go about this race, in terms of covering off people. But we're just going to try the best we can. So let's go to the full grid then, and then we'll check out how this race goes at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Nico Hülkenberg, and Raikkonen, Perez, Ocon, Palmer, and a Mercedes, Kvyat, Alonso, Romain Grosjean, and Sainz, Massa, Magnussen, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Lance Stroll, Wehrlein, and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, so here we are on the grid then, and still in P10. Unfortunately, no grid penalties to talk about to help us on our way up the order. Actually, there haven't been too many grid penalties, I should say, in quite some time now in the episodes, for at least the top 10, I should say, the usual suspects. So, in terms of the strategy today, we're going to go with a 2-stop. Probably won't be doing the 3. It takes longer, and we won't have enough pace, I don't think, on newer set of tyres to counteract that extra pit stop with that extra third one. So, 2-stop default, super soft, two sets of soft tyres. But here we go then. So, 5 red lights to the Hungarian Grand Prix. Round number 11 of Season 6 is underway. It is a pretty piss-poor start for us compared to the Toro Rosso car, who made some contact with us. Dan Kvyat there on just behind us in P11. We're going to go down the inside then of some of these cars, trying to go down the inside of Kimi Raikkonen as he's forcing wide both the Force India cars, and we've got both of them there. You can see Palmer also getting up the order on the right-hand side ahead of Kimi, and Kimi going toe-to-toe with the Force Indias, and actually both Force Indias actually mug Kimi off there. You can see in the background Ocon and Perez past the Iceman, and up ahead we've got side-by-side action between Nico Hülkenberg and our teammate Hamilton, and so Hamilton is lost it off third position. There's been contact with Hülkenberg and Hamilton, so I had to lift off there and brake a little bit to make sure we didn't slam to the back of Hamilton. But look at that, those two still tussling away, and there is a chance we could overtake both of them if they're not careful. Here we go, going for a bit of a move to the inside there. We go over the curbing, and on the inside of Hamilton, do a switchback move on him. He takes a bit of a wider line, and we lift off a tad, and he just gets unsettled, and we effectively undercut him there on the racing line, and we're up into P4 already. So a stonking start for us on lap 1 from P10 to P4. Now we can chase after Sebastian Vettel in third place, that is, who's also equally trying to chase after Max Verstappen at the moment in second place, Daniel Ricciardo in first. So off pole position, Verstappen's lost it, and Ricciardo's the one that leads, although we've got yellow flags up ahead, and oh my god, you're kidding me. It is Max Verstappen retiring for the second race in a row. He's out of this Grand Prix. He retired at the British Grand Prix last episode, and now he's retired in this one. This time, though, it looks like a full stonk engine failure. Obviously, last time it was a mechanical failure for the Dutchman, but here he goes through the right-hander, and, well, there you have it, an engine failure, and that is... Well, at least the game's kind of modelled what Verstappen was seeing earlier on in the real-life 2017 season with many reliability failures. Very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. So Verstappen, I was already saying last episode, he was slipping away from the championship fight, looking like a two-way scrap between myself and Ricciardo. It's looking like that more and more and more as we go on through the season, you must say. And yeah, there you can see Sergio Perez overtaking Julian Palmer in that little scrap behind us. But we move on to lap 6 then, trying to close up on Vettel. Getting a bit too hot and bothered, though, into turn 1, under braking there. Getting a bit too eager to close up on Vettel. But it's been an annoying case of classic Hungary, really. You know, they call it Monaco without the barriers because of Sector 2, and pretty much it's near impossible to get close to this Ferrari car at the moment. Dirty air has been such a factor in this opening stint on lap 8. We're still behind him in pretty much the same amount of region. You can see we close up in Sector 1, but as we go down this hill and onwards into Sector 2, we just lose time, and it's just very, very hard. And we are gaining this time, though, up the hill. Good Sector 1, you can see purple actually on lap 8. We go a little bit wide, though, with dirty air, and you can see now up the hill, a little bit slidey on the rear end, and a little bit opposite lock, and they're pretty much just unable to make anything work in that sector. And so by the end of the lap, as we make a mistake into the second last corner, just again getting frustrated, a few mistakes coming in, dirty air, we just think it's time to come in already for this pit stop. Pretty much bang on what we wanted, though, as you can see on the bottom right, that's where our default wanted us in. So we're coming in for this 2-stop now. I'm not too sure what everyone else is doing. The 1-stop is possible if you have good enough tyre wear. We've made it work in the past with the Renault, Toro Rosso. I want to say, did we do it in the Force India? I think we might have. in the Force India, but the Mercedes car just has such poor tyre wear. Even with the minor upgrade, the super soft tyres were not feeling great. So I don't think the one stop is possible for us today. So we're going to go for the two stop, and it looks like perhaps maybe Vettel and Ricciardo may just have too much in the tank today, which is unfortunate and surprising because the Ferrari car has not been that great in the last few episodes. So for some reason they've just gained a lot of performance here in Hungary. Maybe they do have an upgrade. Maybe they had a major upgrade that came in. But we move on to lap 10 now. We've overtaken the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz, and we come through into turn 1. And Vettel, unfortunately, is just there ahead of us, although he is also on soft tyres. So Vettel also going for the two-stop strategy, it would look like here. It's just that he's gone for a longer first stint. So just showing the tyre wear that we have compared to him on the super soft tyres. But you can see Fernando Alonso still going on. He's not blue flag, so Vettel was going to get held up a little bit by Fernando. So I'm going to hopefully try and make a move maybe and hope and pray that Alonso can hold him up enough, as we've already got ahead of Hulkenberg and Palmer still, so no traffic there. But can we make a move down the inside? We'll go for it, dive down the inside. It's close, tiny bit of contact made there, but a beautiful switchback made on Sebastian Vettel. Minor contact made on the inside there, but hardly anything. And then a beautiful switchback to make the move up into P5. And so now we're going to close up to Fernando Alonso now. But Alonso pretty much did exactly what I wanted him to. Hold up Vettel enough, give him enough dirty air into the hairpin, and we make that really awesome move. You know, that's inch perfect pretty much. And so now we close up on Fernando in this same exact place as Vettel now. So we could make a similar pass up the hill. Looking like my favourite spot to make an overtake at the moment in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Up the hill, use the power, get the power down, nice dive, and as Alonso locks up anyway, we go down the inside of him on the chicane. We're up into P4 there, right in the curb somewhat, but Alonso with that front right lock up actually was inevitable that we're going to make that pass. Actually didn't even need to dive as hard as I did, because Fernando would have gone wide anyway with the lock-up. And so now we'll close up to Romain Grosjean. And again, for the third time now in a row on lap 12, we'll close up to another car in this same spot in the chicane. So here we go on the Frenchman now, and we don't even make the dive. I wasn't actually planning on making the move, but Grosjean locks up, double lock-up for him, and so he gives us the position there. I was a bit too far back from Grosjean compared to Vettel and Alonso, so I didn't even plan on making a dive bomb, but yeah, thank you very much, Roman. Just double lock up, bit of mistake, and we're able to get on our merry way in third place. But you can see Perez in second. He's making a one-stop work along with Dan Ricciardo. So looks like perhaps, maybe, Perez may just have a blistering, blinding, very clever strategy here to get his Force India up the order. Of course, the same strategy I used last season. And so it's going to be him in P2, Ricciardo P1. Obviously, right now he's not, because he's already made his pit stop there. But I think he may just have a very good opportunity to be ahead of myself and Sebastian Vettel and also Nico Hulkenberg, who's fighting us quite hard at the moment for the second time now. Tries his luck around the outside into turn 1. Doesn't work out. Initially, he tried it down the inside. We cover that off, and we covered it off for a second time now on lap 17. As we move on to lap 18 now, on the very next lap at the end of the next lap, onto lap 19, he's going to try it once more. He's going to move to the inside now. We're going to squeeze him to the inside. He's going to get very close. We go side by side. He's got the inside line. He's kept it, so fair play to him. He's been very stubborn with that, but we ultimately move to the racing line, go around the outside, and we've got that quite comfortably. So the Renault, although very decent in straight line at the moment, and probably good in sector 2, at the moment he's unable to make a move. And so as we pass a wallowing Williams car going off circuit there, Sebastian Vettel's the one that makes a huge dive around the outside, and it's going to be almost a very nice move. It may be a very nice move. He actually makes it work, and yes, he does. And so that is confirmed to be a pretty damn awesome move by Vettel from so far back on the left-hand side, on the right-hander there at the end of sector 2. Awesome stuff for the German against the other fellow German of himself in the Renault. As we move on to lap 21 though, now it's time for us to come in. Hulkenberg already came in on the previous lap 20, and Vettel continued on. So I think Vettel's coming in on lap 22. So he's going to get an overcut. He's trying the overcut, and Hulkenberg's trying the undercut. And so we'll see how that works out. But we're on to another set of soft tyres then, and Palmer's going to come in with us, and he's going to make his pit stop as well. So it looks like we may be still fighting the Renaults, and hopefully, fingers crossed, altered the Ferrari on Sebastian Vettel. I'm not too sure though where Sergio Perez is at this stage. I think, as I said earlier, he's got a very good opportunity that he might be ahead of all of us on that one stop, because it's so powerful, but obviously the pace is offset, so he may just catch Perez by the end of this race. That's what I'm hoping. But if I tried the one stop, I just didn't think I was going to have the pace. That's why I can already see the comments asking why I didn't try it. I just didn't think I was going to have the pace with the Mercedes car, honestly. Looking back at previous races where we tried one stops with the Mercedes car. But we get past the Toro Rosso then being lapped, and Palmer now is the one behind us. And you can see there on the top left at the moment, Hamilton's ahead, but he's going to make a pit stop there. But it's going to be Nico Hülkenberg, who's already ahead of us. So his undercut was a major undercut. So as we move up into P4, it's Nico P3, Perez in P2, Hülkenberg P1. Vettel finds himself behind myself and Palmer. So Vettel lost 2 positions, 3 positions actually, because he overtook Hülkenberg, remember. So he lost 3 positions trying that overcut of 2 laps. And so now we move on to lap 30 with 5 laps to go. Perez down to P3, but he's out of this Grand Prix now. That's why. I only just realised that. Sergio Perez out of the Hungarian Grand Prix. So we're getting lucky once more for the second time in this race now. Perez out, and so we move up into P3. It's a lost cause trying to get P2. Hülkenberg's got way too much pace now. So it's probably going to be Ricciardo in first and Hülkenberg second. But we're up into P3 now. And so can we try and just defend this position from Sebastian Vettel and Jolyon Palmer, who are looking very dangerous indeed in the closing stages of the Grand Prix with 5 laps to go, but we've been gifted the podium there. It looks like, oh, we got a safety car. Fernando Alonso out of this Grand Prix. Okay, this just got interesting, ladies and gents. This just got very interesting, because now we could have an opportunity to maybe overtake Hülkenberg on the restart if we are close enough to him. But Fernando Alonso, thank you very much. Retired from this Grand Prix, and he's caused a full course yellow. So at the moment we're looking at a replay of Sergio Perez. He smokes away with an engine failure, so that was him on the left hand side. Surprised that he's parking up there on the left hand side didn't cause a safety car there, because that's quite a dangerous place, quite open there, and very easy for a car to, you know, maybe tail end a little bit and maybe hit him on the left hand side. So surprise there. But Fernando then retires as well with also an engine failure in the same place Verstappen did. So very curious there. The FIA feel like that one needed a full course safety car, whereas the one with Verstappen in the same exact spot did not. So a little bit inconsistent there, but Fernando is the one that causes the safety car. Then maybe just 2 incidents on the track at the same time. The FIA thought, I think we need to put the full yellow now, as we've got 2 different incidents to attend to, really. I don't know. But we get onto the restart then for the safety car. We're side by side with Hülkenberg. We've got traffic, though, of the likes of the other McLaren of Van Dorn, who are under blue flags. So I tried to make a move, but you can see we've got illegal overtakers. It was green flag, so I thought I could go, but apparently not, because we need to obviously cross the line. But it was green flag, so there's no other indicator, so I just went for it, but it pulled me back. So now we're 3 wide now with the Renault guys. Hülkenberg on the left, Palmer now trying his luck here. We're going to dive it through the middle of them, lock up a little bit, but that's actually been a fantastic brake zone, and we've got him. We've got Hülkenberg, and we're up into P2, and Hülkenberg now is under pressure from Jolyon Palmer, his teammate, with Sebastian Vettel not too far behind there in what will be P5. But yeah, you can see that whole gaggle of traffic did not help, and we've got more traffic up here for the first time in a while. I've not seen this too often under the safety car. All the slower cars kind of got packed up. This is how fast the top 10 were going, that we had lapped so many cars. So we close up to Lance Stroll down his inside as we go on towards the last lap of the Grand Prix on lap 35. Yeah, very curious kind of sight of having so many cars that are not in the fight right here, you know, that we have to overtake with traffic. And so you can see we go a little bit defensive and try and weave around a little bit before ultimately going back to the racing line to defend from Nico Hülkenberg there. But yeah, really good safety car restart, but a very odd one. We were side by side, there was green flag, went for the move, the game then told me it was illegal, so I let Hülkenberg back pass. But by that point, we still had the legs on him. Palmer then tried to overtake me. We were in the middle, and we just went for it. Really late break, and it was a really decent one. And we got up into P2 because of it. And we just about narrowly miss a collision there with a Haas of Romain Grosjean. That was, or Magnussen actually, because we're overtaking Grosjean here. So my bad, I didn't read the name tag correctly there. But either way, it's a Haas that nearly took us out there quite annoyingly. So, you know, last time got close to a safety car. This time got close, very close, even closer to a Haas there. But Daniel Ricciardo ultimately wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. He just had way too much pace in the tank, so fair play to him. We've gone home in a very good second place. That's the fighting spirit. As I said, you know, last episode, we haven't had a real big scrap with a former teammate before. Obviously, I never had one with Ricciardo too much whilst I was his teammate in Red Bull. But now, with the Red Bull car being so good, it's looking like a real fight. I'm going to have to really actually fight for this, because now Ricciardo's going to take the lead back of the Drivers' World Championship. We're 1 point ahead going into this episode. And now, obviously, 25 to 18 at 7, so he's going to be ahead by 6 points. Yeah, the fight's on. The fight's on. He's looking in good form. Obviously, he is the leading pole man. He's had about 9 or more poles, something like that. I think 8, maybe. I think because Verstappen got one and Hülkenberg got one, so we've got 11 races. So I think he's on 9 poles, I think. So obviously he's the man in form this season. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm relishing this, actually. I'm kind of speaking like Lewis Hamilton did at the beginning of this real-life 2017 season with Vettel, but I actually am relishing this challenge of Ricciardo being pretty damn good in that Red Bull, and I'm going to have to really fight for it. In the Constructors, though, I briefly showed that, but at the moment, Red Bull have been so consistent with both their drivers in the top 3 of the championship. I think Red Bull probably have this championship wrapped up in terms of the Constructors, but you never know, you never know. If Verstappen keeps getting unlucky, we could be there, but for the drivers, definitely up for grabs. But as we move on to the end of the episode then, for the R&D chart, really a head-scratcher in what we could do, because we did not have enough points for a major upgrade on the chassis or the aerodynamic side. Pretty much we've only got majors to do on both those fronts, whereas we've still got one minor to do on the engine upgrade, and obviously the major one takes 4 weeks, so I really did not fancy waiting 4 weeks for an upgrade. And looking at the races we got Spa, we've got Italy. Obviously those two, you're going to need straight line speed, so I thought, you know what, screw it, let's go for the engine upgrade again. And you know, at the moment, Red Bull and Force India are still the fastest guys on the grid for engine power, so that minor upgrade might just bring us level with Red Bull and Force India finally for the first time this season on engine power. So I think that's going to come into play and quite useful for the Belgium Grand Prix and also Italy. So looking forward to that one. But guys, if you have enjoyed the episode, smash the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're right here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been Aarava. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.